Hey guys, DB Smiley here. Today we're talking Revanite Commanders. This is the fourth boss in the Temple of Sacrifice, and it kind of reminds me of a hybrid of Dreadguard Commanders in TFB and Gatekeeper Draxus in DF. This fight is not very difficult. It's a lot of adds and 3 bosses that come down one at a time, each with their own mechanics. I'll try to go through the add and boss mechanics as they come up on the screen and are the main focus. So, a lot of mechanics here, but not a difficult fight due to low damage output. The first boss that comes down, Lord Caruso, and by the way, the order they come down is completely random. This was just the first for us. Spams Tracer Missile. After spamming Tracer Missile several times, he does a guided missile volley. The more stacks of Tracer Missile you have, the more damage he does. He also does a knockback, as you can see there, and then goes right back to Tracer Missile spam. In story mode, you can afford to eat every single stack of Tracer Missile, so just feel free to have your tank do that. Make sure to kill the adds before you get DPS on the boss, because otherwise the adds will start to overwhelm you. Now, the add I am tanking here is a Sith Revanite. They don't seem to do too much damage. They do a Force Sleep, but you can pretty much handle them. I would consider them the lowest priority add. They do the least damage. Now, if you do good DPS, you'll end up in a situation like this, where there's one add and not a whole lot going on. We actually end up waiting around a bit here. This is a long fight, and you just kind of have to deal with it. Up there is Lord Curse. We'll talk to him. He's going to come down next, but first we have more adds. That orange circle you see are the Revanite Mandalorians. They do a death from above and are untauntable. Lord Curse comes down, and I taunt him here. Lord Curse pretty much just attacks you until he puts this purple circle. This is a smash, so you want to move away from the raid. He'll jump to you, do a smash, and then you keep going. There's no debuff. He's pretty easy. He's probably the easiest of the guys to handle, provided people are aware about the purple circle. He doesn't do much damage. He doesn't put any debuffs on you. Lord Curse does have some AoE resistant. He dodges apparently 20-some% of AoEs. So you do want to make sure that when he's up and you can single target him, you do so. So this Outlaw Revanite is kind of like a sniper. What you want to watch out for is their conal AoE, which is Scatter Shot. Once Scatter Shot is telegraphed, it will not move, it does not home in, and does not follow. So what you want to do when it comes up is you want to just get out of the AoE. Pretty simple. In fact, with both the Mandalorian and the Outlaw ad, you just need to get out of their AoE telegraphs, and that's it. Now, Sano is far and away the most annoying part of this fight. Sano puts up a shield, so you must be at melee range. Additionally, Sano every once in a while will kick your tank and put a debuff on him. Right there. This debuff makes you incapable of holding aggro on Sano, so you have to tank swap. Additionally, there you can see that because we're stacked up, those Mandalorians can be kind of annoying. So we are handling adds, and we're trying to keep Sano steady. Isman aren't doing the best job of it, but in story mode this fight is very easy and not much trouble. So from here we get another cycle where the bosses come down one at a time, again in random order. I'm going to fast forward to the end of the fight because all of this is just repeated mechanics. So now we're reaching the end of the fight. Darren just came down for his second time around. Every boss has been down twice now, counting Darren. So this is the final single boss phase. Once Darren goes back up top, we have to deal with all 3 bosses at the same time. So we want to make sure we mop up adds here. Everyone's topped off. Everyone has Kolto shells from a Merc Healer, etc. All 3 bosses are now down, so there really is no best kill order in story mode due to just the overall low damage output. What can be very annoying in this phase is Sano. Sano is annoying because it will constantly put that debuff on the tank that makes it lose aggro. Isma and I try to build up threat on Sano quickly, that way we can pull aggro on Sano whenever he puts that debuff on a tank without having to blow a taunt, that way we can keep adds under control and that sort of thing. However, Sano's damage output is so low that really it's not a big deal. What we like to do is burn down Darren first, because he is capable of doing a lot of damage to DPS with his armor debuff. Then we like to get Lord Curse. Lord Curse's smash is fairly easy to handle provided you keep a tank on him, but after a while, you know, with Sano's shield especially forcing people to stack up, it can be dangerous. Lord Curse is not too hard to handle, however, and we get him second. We try to keep adds rounded up and near the bosses for AoE damage. In this fight, AoE specs are going to get a lot of mileage, so Madness spec, for example, or Lightning spec works just as well. Lethality can work very well here, better than Marksmanship, I would argue. Just try to keep that in mind when you're speccing into the fight, especially that AoEs are your friend. All the while that we're dealing with this, we keep getting more adds that spawn. Those Mandalorians can be troublesome with their death from above due to Sano's shield, as well as just generally trying to stack up for AoE heals and that. But once you get down one boss, the phase gets easier. There's really no soft and rage mechanic for any of the bosses, you just kill them one at a time. So not a whole lot goes on in the final phase once you get the first boss down, even less goes on once you get the second boss. You just have to want to keep all the adds stacked up, do as much AoE damage as you can, and try to burn down the bosses quickly. This is a very long fight and not a hard one. It's very, I think, undertuned for story mode. That said, I imagine this fight will be rather challenging in hard mode. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been a DB Smiley Guide.